Well, I want to welcome everybody to another episode of Two Questions For, and today we have two questions for Cathy and Laura about Alpha, which is coming up really soon. In case you haven't heard the announcements, we have a new Alpha course beginning on April 25th. That's a Thursday night, and that's going to be at Laura and Sean's home in Fairfield. I mean, really just right over there, so basically in the neighborhood. And one of the things that we've just been saying, and you've heard us a couple of weeks in a row here, is it is our vision for not just to kind of throw out a bunch of advertisements and paper everything with flyers and hope that people come to Alpha. Our strategy is that we would all pray and ask if we should come to broaden our faith, or who should we invite. And so those are the two prayers. Laura just beautifully encouraged us to do that today during church, if you missed that. What we're doing this week is praying, God, do you want me to come to Alpha? And do you want me to invite anyone to come along with me? The vision is that we bring people. And last thing, remember that the invitation for Alpha is for the first session. Just come to the first one, and then we trust the Holy Spirit to move people the way he wants them to be moved. So really what we're doing is praying, do you want me to come to the first session? And who should I invite? So with that, let's get to our two questions for Laura and Cathy. And Laura, we're going to start with you. It's very simple. What most excites you about Alpha?
Well, life is really busy around here. I grew up in this area, and people are preoccupied, I think understandably, with education and career and just the day-to-day. So there's not a lot of opportunity in the busyness of day-to-day to go deep spiritually with people unless you set aside that time, which I do, and we chat to our neighbors in the cracks of the day, but I think Alpha provides a more formalized venue and a safe, comfortable environment to ask deep questions. And because, even though I think I agree with Brian, come to the first one, no commitment for the full 10 weeks, but because it is a 10-week commitment, there's an opportunity to sort of come back, you can go back home, think about things, bring your questions back, and it really is a very deepening experience. I think for those who are believers and those who wouldn't consider themselves as to be Christians.
Yeah, I'll just add, to your point, I have the confidence to say, invite to the first one because of everything that you just said. Yeah. I feel like the first experience is deep and rich, and people will want to come back. So that's always been my hope with it. So I love that. That's excellent, yeah. How about you? What excites you, Cathy, about Alpha?
Well, I guess I should say that I have a heart for the lost, and I think it's a great opportunity just to see people dine with them and break bread together and like have a meal, and you're watching relationships grow, and by just kind of uniting that way for getting to know people that you don't, and see where they're at, and just see what God does over the course of time in that course. Yeah. This is my second church doing it, and it's been quite different each time. So
that's amazing. Yeah, thank you. I love that word too, that it's different each time. I think probably changes with who comes with you, I would imagine. Yeah. Yeah, and that's excellent. Well, thank you. Okay, second question. In your experience, you've kind of already touched on this a little bit, but go a little bit deeper with me. How does Alpha provide this venue, this safe place for gospel conversations, inviting people to go deeper with Jesus or for the first time relationship with Jesus? How have you seen it work? And who would like to answer first? We didn't talk about this. Go ahead, Cathy. It looks like you're ready.
Yeah, I will. I'm ready for this question, I think. So it's kind of like, I think one of the things I was thinking back with Alpha, just the presentation of the material, I think it helps you to realize that when you come to Jesus, he takes you for who you are, whether you think in your mind you're too messed up to come to him or not. Yeah. So there's that, okay, I don't need to change to come to Christ. That's what it's about, the whole transformation. And, stressing that, of course, everything is confidential, it is shared. You're in a safe place, and you're able to do that.
I love it. Yeah. That's amazing. Yeah, it's a really great answer. Laura, how do you think it works?
So I think one of the mandates that we have from Jesus himself is to share the gospel, right? And that can feel overwhelming. And I think depending on denominational history or just I think there's a sense of we individually have to figure out a method for sharing the gospel. And I think that Alpha provides a really nice structure so that I'm not relying on me, myself, and I to come up with some clear, pithy explanation. I'm inviting people in. There's sort of the invitation, and then I'm allowing the Holy Spirit to sort of enliven that structure. So there's safety in it for me as a believer, because I'm like, I know that what I'm putting forth with the video teaching and then the discussion after is vetted historically and biblically, and I can rest in that. And then, as I think what you said was beautiful, I can, because that structure helps with the sharing of the gospel and sort of the explanation of Christianity, the breadth of it, I can engage in relationship with people. I don't have to be stressed out about like, oh, did I miss something, or am I not representing the church accurately or Christ accurately? So that's what I appreciate. As an even evangelistic tool, I just find it incredibly helpful and empowering.
I love that community aspect you're both talking about too. Like, just, we don't have to do it alone. This sharing Jesus with people, that we do it with brothers and sisters, and in this group of people, all asking questions, all of our own questions. I love how you both brought that out too. Yeah. Well, I'm really excited about this session of Alpha. So again, it is April 25th. That is a Thursday night. It's at Sean and Laura's. We can get you all the information. And we join you in your prayer. God, do you want me to attend? And who should I invite? Thank you all for joining us for this episode of 2 Questions 4. We'll see you next time.